Hello, Nerdquest Podcasters. It is I, Jacob.
Questions.
And we have, Nerdquestions, same thing. We have,
Jake's really tired tonight.
Yeah, I just got done with intense workout.
He smells.
We got a fun-filled podcast
like
for you today.
I like it.
Fun-filled podcast today. Leading is me, Jacob, along with
Josh, a.k.a. Zorgulon, Destroyer of Worlds.
we have a casual repeat,
Conrad.
and we have a very special guest, someone who we're actually pretty excited to have on, and that is
Josh's dad, or I should say Zorgulon the Destroyer of Worlds' father.
Yes, you heard that right. Zorgulon, Destroyer of Worlds, has a dad.
Yeah.
And he's on the podcast. Today is themed, and it's kind of, the game's, 3-4 years old now?
Well, it's 2014. It came out in 2011.
So 3 years old.
Yeah.
It's Skyrim.
Can do something.
It's a very fun game that kind of still holds a lot of weight.
Oh, I think it really does.
It really does. It's one of those games that that's gonna go the distance, and like you can play it I can see myself
Needs
playing
more DLC. Definitely
Needs more DLC.
Yeah.
I wish
Needs more DLC.
I could really go with having like an Xbox One
Remake
for
I think they're
it.
doing that.
Sure, why not?
I don't see why they want it. It's a cash cow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Skyrim, very fun game by Bethesda.
One of my favorite developers.
One of the favorite developers because they are the maker of. Go ahead, pimp it real quick.
Fallout 3.
Yes, there we go. So let's go around real quick and just talk about like what we like so much about Skyrim and what really got us hooked. Josh,
That's a big question.
Keep it short, please.
I'll do my best. If I had to pick just a couple things, I'd say the open world. Just it's every single time Bethesda nails it with their open world. I love the inclusion of werewolves, dual wielding, and shield bashing. I'd say those are my big four.
Zorgulon Senior.
What I enjoy so much about it is you have so many different ways of defeating opponents. You meet a variety of opponents, and you can, interestingly enough, find out a lot about yourself in how you play the game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll back that.
What about you, Conrad?
So, it's my style. I mean, I live for the slash and stab, burn and churn. I mean, I played Oblivion. I played the hell out of Oblivion. And so, for obligation alone, I have to play Skyrim through and through.
And then Skyrim blew Oblivion out of the water.
And that it did. Well, to a certain degree. I mean, I'm not making spells anymore, but I'm casting better spells.
Yeah?
Maybe not better spells, but you get the picture.
I never got really into magic when it came to the game. But
You are a bit of a jarhead.
Yeah, kind of. I'm very much a hack and slash warrior. Or actually with my newest character, archery. I'm very much into archery. This is my first Elder Scrolls game playing ever. I didn't play Morrowind. I never really heard of the Elder Scrolls until Skyrim because it got so much hype when it was coming out. And so I thought, well, why not? I didn't get it for like a couple months until after it came out, because all my friends were like, "You gotta get this game," and I'm really glad I did. I love it. I just love
Better than Skooma.
I love the expansive universe of it, the free roam. It's not to mention it's just a beautiful looking game.
Yeah.
I thought the story was really well done too. It was very captivating.
Among other things, I think it's kind of interesting the setup we have here, because Zorgulon has... I've played... Conrad introduced me to Oblivion, but the Bethesda game I started with was Fallout. So I'm coming in from this post-apocalyptic setting into... I did play Oblivion, so there was some of that, but Skyrim is very different than Oblivion, because Oblivion was very English and very stereotypical medieval fantasy, whereas Skyrim is very... very Nordic, very Viking, which I like.
I like that too.
And we have my father, who his video game track record started with Call of Duty Nazi Zombies for World at War.
Good way to start. I'm not gonna lie.
And after a while, he got bored with the simplistic AI of the zombies, so he started playing World at War because he's a huge history buff. And World at War is World War II.
World at War has to be my favorite Call of Duty game.
But and from then on, we got him for Christmas. We got Black Ops for you for Christmas.
Right.
and then we all played together.
And that was a kick. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. We got we had a Soul Calibur game, and I love fighters. And I know Jake does, even though he doesn't love them.
I don't know how to feel about fighters. I love it and hate it at the same time.
I would say you love it, but you don't like that you love them.
That's a good way to point it, yeah.
And Dad goes, oh, well what's this game? Huh. And he played that. He really liked Nightmare and Astaroth, the big heavy hitters. Then I brought home Skyrim. I went to the midnight release. And I brought home Skyrim, and it took a little while, but...
I can't remember if I went to the midnight release. No.
I think you did. Although I could be wrong.
No, I really wanted to, but I just couldn't, so I got it the day after.
Right. But, so I was playing it, Dad goes, what's this? I said, oh, this is Skyrim. And this was the one I was really excited to try to get him into.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, you create a character, you run around this medieval fantasy universe, and you kill dragons, and you kill basically everything that looks at you funny. And Dad goes, sounds kind of fun. Then he made his first character, Auric, a Nord with heavy armor and a warhammer.
Nice.
And a bow.
And a bow.
I love archery.
With a bow on top.
My
Yes.
my current character is complete archery. My first guy was just hack and slash Nord.
Right. Well, we actually have a couple questions that I dreamt up for this.
Definitely.
I want to kind of stay away from the character because I deal with some of that character stuff in this.
I do want to say real quick, since you guys were talking about how you went to the midnight release, what I did when I first got Skyrim, I got it a couple months later, and then I went and bought a Little Caesar's pizza and a 2-liter Mountain Dew Voltage. And I played it all night and ate pizza and hated myself the next day.
I don't know.
But you didn't hate Skyrim.
No, I did not hate Skyrim.
Yeah.
This is I've played, just a quick side note, I've played both Skyrim and Fallout. Skyrim, out of all the Bethesda games, I think Skyrim is the only one I've fully played through since Knights of the Old Republic.
Wow.
I gave up on Fallout because I was tired of getting killed by everything. It was like playing in Australia. But I gotta say, I think I enjoy Skyrim and Elder Scrolls more than Fallout.
I had something, but I forgot it. The questions start with, what race was your first character? And I think for most of us, except for Conrad, I know what Conrad's was. Mine was a Nord. I know Dad's was a Nord.
Mine was a Nord. Mine was a Nord with a mohawk and war paint.
I created a Nord in this one because it's Skyrim, it's the home of the Nords. I felt like it was more appropriate to make a Nord character than my traditional first character, which in Oblivion was an Orc.
I gotta say, I made my guy try to look as much like if I was in a Nordic fantasy, try to look as much as like me, because I had giant Nord, mohawk, and then the war paint I had made it look like eye black from baseball. And I was like, yeah, this is perfect.
Question. Okay.
Nerd
questions. Nerd questions. Vote on what you think Conrad's first character's race was. Was it Nord, Redguard, Imperial, Breton, Altmer, Dark Elf, Orc, Khajiit, or Argonian?
I want to say Dark Elf or Argonian.
I'd like to say Dark Elf.
Really? Argonian?
Conrad hates Argonians.
I hate Argonians.
Really
Argonians belong in their rightful place under the boot of the Dunmer. I am Dunmer to my core. Dark Elf all the way. I've been a Dark Elf in Morrowind. I've been a Dark Elf in Oblivion. and I am a Dark Elf now.
That's actually what my newest character is. He's a Dark Elf food.
Rock on!
I'm
Dunmer!
I mean, if you know anything, if you know anything about basic elf mythologies, they're really good archers.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I want to do mainly archery on this guy. So I was like, Dark Elf.
Dark Elf.
I don't know. I've got... My Nord is pretty darn good with archery.
Yeah.
So.
One of my favorite things about the elves, because there are 3 kinds of elves, the High Elf, Dark Elf, and Wood Elf, is you get all different kinds of stereotypes with them. I mean, Legolas-style archery is done by the Bosmer, the Wood Elves. You get the High Elves or the Altmer for magic, and they're the very... In Skyrim, they mostly look down their nose at you, and
they really do.
They're high elves, like that. That just gives like that just sounds like egotistical.
They could call them tall elves.
Yeah, literally as well. And then there's the dark elves, which are more of the Nightblade style of sneaking magic and one-handed all at once.
They're the dark badasses. I think if there are any race that should be an assassin, not a thief, an assassin, it's a dark elf.
Yeah, because
Not
either
too
good
many of them.
are good thieves, dark elves are assassins.
Not too many dark elves have stood up against my Warhammer, though.
Not many Nords have stood up against my flaming ebony sword either.
Let's see you get close to me with my archery skills.
Anyway, next question we got.
Let's see, get close to me with my ancestral wrath.
Next question. In the Elder Scrolls, there are 3 primary archetypes. There's the warrior, thief, and mage. Fun fact, just in case you didn't see them in Skyrim, whenever you go up to your skills or the level up, those clouds behind the constellations are in the shape of the original constellations from Daggerfall, the warrior, thief, and mage.
See, I want to know that.
Well, it's
Either.
I've played Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim.
Okay, so Daggerfall was the first one.
Technically, Arena was the first one,
Arena
but
was the very first
it was
round.
not very refined,
PC.
and they changed a lot when they moved it to Daggerfall. So a lot of people say, well, Arena is the first one they made. That's true. A lot of people say Daggerfall is the first real Elder Scrolls game, which is also true.
But Morrowind was the first Elder Scrolls console game.
Yes, and it was a massive hit. So this question is, which of the 3 primary archetypes are you, and which one do you play as most? Because those are 2 very different things.
Take a wild guess.
I'm going to go ahead and say that our fearless leader, Jake, is a warrior.
You know, the jock archetype of the 3? Yeah, totally.
Conrad?
It's really a toss-up. I mean, I have to say Battle Mage.
Yeah.
I mean,
Conrad's pretty solidly stuck between mage and thief.
I'm sure.
There's such a complete balance between the 2 for me.
But if I were pushed to pick one for you, Conrad, I would probably say thief.
Really?
Yeah. You do a lot more of the backstabby stuff than the magic stuff that I see.
Seems fitting.
And I do enjoy a little backstabbing.
Mine would be the same one as Jake's.
I don't go baby seal clubbing. I go baby seal backstabbing.
No, I go club the crap out of him.
You go Horker clubbing.
Yeah, that's true.
I gotta say warrior. Jake doesn't see it so much because when me and Jake are hanging out, I'm usually the one. I'm the JD to his Turk. Conrad sees this probably far too often. I abuse the crap out of him.
Yeah, normally when I come over, you're playing Skyrim. You're working on magic, and so.
Yeah, I have restartitis. I think I'm working on my I want to say it's my 34th character.
I'm a level 8 mage. This is my dragon Randall.
There's some Scrubs quotes for you. And of course, Dad's the warrior. And which one do you play as most?
Warrior.
Yeah.
The Battle Mage.
Warrior, absolutely. And it's, and I've tried some other characters. And I've tried to branch out, but you know what? It's just, I get a big kick out of taking out a Warhammer.
Same here.
And slamming stuff.
I mean, not like it's fun to throw fireballs at someone, but when that cutscene or when that battle scene comes up, where that kill cam comes up, and you chop off the dude's head with your sword, nothing beats that.
That's right.
Or you're 50 yards away from an enemy with your bow, and you just shoot him, and he shows that slow motion kill cam with the arrow. As soon as it goes right between their eyes, like magic can't.
But does it ever really go right between the eyes?
It has.
You should see some of my shots.
I got a kill cam through the arm.
I do wish there was a recording feature for something like that where you could just save the clip because some of the shots I had are amazing.
If they do in fact do an Xbox One re-release, because already the Xbox One comes with the command Xbox record that, and they will record the last 30 seconds.
Well, and also default settings, because my friend has an Xbox One and we've played on it. Default settings, it will pick up when something intense is happening in the game and record it automatically.
Oh, cool.
But sometimes it's just like, I didn't want that recorded, so
right.
My favorite kill cam has got to be. Take the Warhammer, you take out the knees, and in the same swing.
Also very good.
As for me,
And make them 3 feet shorter.
because I had so many different characters that vary across so many styles, I'd be really hard pressed to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to say I play as warrior the most because I always go back to my first character, who he's a warrior. He's more like a warrior ranger mix because he has his archery is 97, his one-handed is 100, and his smithing is 100, and so he's.
God, the grinding out it takes to get 100 for smithing is ridiculous.
No, it's easy.
No, it's not hard.
It's so easy.
Just make iron daggers after. I know.
I don't
Iron
do that.
dagger after iron dagger.
What do you do?
I don't make iron daggers.
What do you make?
I don't make any daggers. I make armor.
Does that
Yeah.
get you up pretty high?
Well,
on
because
smithing?
so what
the
you do,
amount of
what you do.
experience you get for smithing is based on the value of the item you make.
Okay.
For example, dwarven armor, I only know because I crafted it earlier today, is 400 gold.
Right.
So you craft that, it adds a lot more than the iron
But
dagger,
it's
which
very,
is 10.
It's very cheap and easy to make iron daggers. Or what you do, you start out with iron daggers, but after a while you're going to get a ton of leather strips, so then you make
Leather bracers.
leather bracers.
Or you can do what Dad did, and my dad got his smithing to 100 without having to grind or spam anything. He just kind of made what he made.
Yeah.
And what I it'll take. What I tend to do is I'll make armor, be it dwarven, orc, whatever, and then I'll immediately go improve it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Improving doesn't increase as much as smithing it does,
Yeah.
but it does.
But it also increases the gold that you get for it.
Yes.
My characters also tend to be very wealthy.
Nice.
Yeah. What was the character you were showing Conrad? How much gold did he have?
Well, I know.
Like
200
100.
something.
No, it was like 120,000.
Like if I were to relate my characters to anything, they're like freelance warriors that are scrimping around for like chump change. Like I never have
the
anything.
problem I have.
Like I barely have anything over 20 grand in gold.
I've got a guy who's walking around with 270,000.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's a magnate.
That's like, my smithing is 100 and my alchemy is 100. I make potions that are 2,000 gold.
So he looks at our characters and goes, pocket change.
My guy, I'm too lazy to get into the whole alchemy thing. So it's just like I'll just make a bunch of iron daggers and get my smithing up, and I'll scrimp around with my chump change.
Yeah, but what's really nice as far as making the smithing stuff, you get enough gold to where you walk into Whiterun and you go to Adrienne and you simply buy out everything she has. And then you turn around and you
Sell it back to her.
exactly. You make it, you sell it back to her. You go up to the drunken huntsman. You get your speech high enough to where you can sell anything to anybody.
Incidentally, Drunken Huntsman, best name for a store ever.
That's probably where I'd spend most of my time buying stuff and drinking.
But it's not a bar.
I thought it was. You see people sitting
No,
around there.
it's a hunter's lodge.
Oh, okay.
Which still includes a lot of the drinking.
Now, my wealth isn't in my gold value, but in the value of my many enchantments that I have early on.
Yeah.
The weapons that I'm wielding, the homes that I own.
I put
That's
those
where
up.
my wealth is.
I put mine up against yours anytime.
my guy's a total scavenger. I shoot an arrow and I immediately raid the body. Like, please give me my arrow back.
Well,
I always do that too, but I mean, when you're firing ebony arrows,
It's kind of want him back.
Whereas my first character, I'm going to relate most of this stuff to my first character. His name is Brel. I'm just going to use that. Brel, I really get into playing a character when I play these games. And Brel never really cared much about money, which is really kind of funny because he ended up being one of my richest characters.
Nice.
Because I would never spend money on anything.
Yeah.
I'd smith all my own gear. And what I didn't smith is probably a Daedric artifact. He has a home, and he got a lot of his money just from hunting. He has the perk where you get more arrows back.
Yeah.
So he'd go hunt something, sell the meat, sell the hide, go hunt something else, and it's really hard to get a lot of money that way, but it's a lot of fun.
This just reminded me because you're bringing up names. I'm sure. I imagine we all have multiple characters on Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
Favorite name of one of your characters?
Sven Forkbeard.
That's awesome. What about yours?
It's hard because I've been using these names all through gaming. I mean, Sidraxis, Kilkara, Scythel.
My first guy's name was
Ildren.
Jekt. But my favorite one is
Jekt.
my archery guy.
Jacked.
It's Axel Wolfthorn.
Yeah.
I love that name.
See, I have a couple, but I gotta say my top two are the orc that I'm running right now, which is Grelnok Grobazrug.
You're zoom tight?
Well, I actually looked into how the orc names are assigned, and so I created the name based around that.
Okay.
The Gro is just a prefix that means from, and Bosrug would be the stronghold he's from. But then there's my first character, my Nord, Brel Stormshout. That's him.
Sounds awesome.
I
I
decided.
love that. Sven Forkbeard.
It's not original. I borrowed it from somebody.
It's
From
still an awesome name.
yeah.
I love it.
Runners up for me would be Kryn, who's my Khajiit thief, which actually translates from that language to scum. I have Kael Ta, the Argonian pirate.
Yeah.
And
I only have two characters. It's Jekt and Axel.
And if I had to pick one more, I'd probably go with Dijrobe Telvanni, who is my dark elf mage.
Nice.
I
I thought it was kind of funny because when I started with Axel, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna become a hack and slash with this guy. I'm like,
archery.
I'm gonna pick up a bow here, go see how this goes, and it's worked out great for me.
Next question on the list is: have you played any of the DLCs?
Before we go on to the next question, I just want to ask real quick: do you have a question on there about what your favorite weapon is?
I do not.
Should we go? Since we were talking,
There's
about
one about preferred method of attack, but go for it.
I was just suggesting,
It's a nice transition.
Since we were just talking about characters.
Yeah.
Preferred method. I imagine, like you said, yours is a Warhammer.
I love the Warhammer. I tend to use.
That's just like if you're a warrior,
It's satisfying.
That's just such a satisfying weapon because it's just like it's the one weapon that causes the most damage, and it's just the most brutal thing
But
ever.
it's so slow.
Yeah, that's my only problem with
Yeah,
it.
but you know what? When you enchant it with paralysis,
Yeah,
You still have to hit them once.
great critical
that's
charge,
usually
Conrad.
all it takes.
Great critical charge. You can do a power attack from a sprint. That's what I did to that one mage earlier. He turned around as I was charging.
You see, I like my nice swords enchanted with their huge, devastating fire or frost damage, and I touch people with that. I touch them. I don't even do a huge, heavy attack with them. I touch them with that, and I'm doing double damage with what your Warhammers are doing.
Man, I really wish there was a way you can there's an online where you can just combat your own.
I know that would be the coolest.
God,
thing.
that would be
You
such.
see, I'm channeling some of my Dark Elves right now.
We may have to do like a Deadliest Warrior style matchup with those two.
We might, or everyone. Personally, my favorite weapon, it's just down in the nitty gritty. Just give me an ebony war axe, enchant it with
The War Axe, the one-handed?
If you
Yeah,
really,
one-handed.
Wow.
if
I am
you
not
really,
surprisingly not a two-handed weapon kind of guy.
Huh.
I like the free the ability of one-handed
And
weapons.
it's really fast.
It's really fast. You get a nice shield with it. I have a nice glass shield right now with my ebony war axe, and I have it enchanted with I picked it up off of someone, and it was I was already enchanted with like a fire enchantment on it. So I love that because it's a nice little brutal attack. Also, nothing. Just real quick, hang on. I'm nothing. I gotta say nothing beats my what I have it polished up to like a superior elvish bow. With it's got a paralysis enchantment on it, and just I got some nice little glass arrows I shoot out of it. You know, it may not be the best stuff, but I'm very effective with it.
Right. Conrad, you were saying...
If you really think that you can take me,
Yes.
my Kilkaroth,
Yes.
level 81,
Yep.
Still yes.
in
take you-
Dragonbone armor,
I'll take you with my level 65
With-
Axle.
with my legendary Dragonbone sword, forged to do well over 200-something damage by itself,
It's gonna make a great prize
And then
to hang over my mantle.
a couple, then like 90-something fire damage mixed with 90-something stamina, magicka, and frost damage?
Point of order.
Are you done?
Paralysis enchantments.
Are you done stroking your ego here?
No. If you think that you can take on that thing and then another of it, By all means.
Anyway, so back to the important stuff.
Did you?
I
did.
do have a crossbow that has has well over 200.
This is getting ugly. You didn't give yours.
I didn't. It's a couple things. I'm just gonna try to focus on Brel because he's my primary. He uses 2 war axes simultaneously.
Nice.
They're both legendary because his smithing's 100 and he has taken all the light armor perks. He has a Skyforged Steel war axe, which Skyforged Steel, you can get it pretty early, and it scales with your level. The more you level up, the more damage it does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either. I haven't.
So can you get it? I don't know. I can look into it too. Can you get a Skyforge bow?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I know there is no Skyforged Steel Warhammer. At least I don't believe there is.
Dang.
But in one hand he has a Skyforged Steel war axe, and in the other one he has a legendary Dragonbone war axe. And that he's not an enchanter. He doesn't pussyfoot around with magic.
I like this guy.
Instead he uses the Elemental Fury shout to like double or triple his swing speed, and goes to town on anything.
God, that makes me want to go. That makes me bring up another. What's your favorite shout?
Oh Lord. Well, real quick, I'm going to finish off with the weapon.
Okay,
he has. I could make a Dragonbone, but he sticks with glass for this, and it's legendary glass bow for his range, and he's almost maxed out on perks for archery, and so basically, if he draws his bow and he looks at you, you're probably already dead and just don't know it. But favorite shouts.
Nothing fancy is mine. I like the flame shout.
Yeah, that's my primary shout.
That's my primary shout. So it is fun. It is fun to take Fusto Da or Unrelenting Force, and if you're on like a cliffside and you see like a goat or something, just charge that baby up and just send the goat flying.
I also really like Call Dragon.
Nice.
And
That's a good one.
And I really, really like Bent Will. It's from the Dragonborn DLC.
Okay.
And it's the one-word shout does very little. It only allows you to cleanse the stones around Solstheim.
Okay.
The 2-word shout temporarily turns any enemy you shouted at into an ally.
Okay.
The the full shout, allows you to bend the will of dragons and ride them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I like that.
My favorite shout.
No, just real quick about when you ride the dragon, can you fully?
No, it's not like a horse. It's still
Okay.
it's less I'm controlling your mind and more I am the person you take orders from. He still flies around for the most part on his own. You can have him lock on to targets.
Okay.
You can also tell him to attack.
Okay.
No, so my favorite shout, just from the sheer awesomeness of how it looks, was the dragon armor
Aspect?
shout. Yeah, dragon aspect shout.
Yeah.
So your shouts become stronger. You get like this cool dragonic aura around you.
It has a cooldown time of 5 seconds.
And
Does it really?
It's just
All 3
beautiful.
words. And it reduces
beautiful.
and it reduces the cooldown time of your shouts.
I also got that's
Yep.
the one thing I hate about the shouts is Unrelenting Force takes forever, and so does Flames takes forever to cool
Well,
down.
at first that really
How
annoyed
long?
me.
Forever.
At first it really, really annoyed me because I wanted to play a character who relied only on the voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
that's been so much
I
fun.
don't know how you. I don't know if you could do that.
Well, there's the restoration glitch. You can do you enchant a bunch of gear with Fortify Alchemy 25%, and you wear it all at once, so you get Fortify Alchemy 100%. Make a Fortify Restoration potion. One of the things Restoration does is makes your Fortify other effects stronger. So you drink the Fortify Restoration potion, unequip your alchemy gear, re-equip it. It'll now be even stronger. You continue rinse and repeat until you've gotten it to a degree you want it. Put on the Amulet of Talos, which reduces sharp cooldown time, and you can get it down to like 0.
That just seems like tedious
That's awesome.
work.
Conrad will do it, but
I'll do it because I've done stuff like that.
you do need a fair amount of skill in alchemy to start with.
Yeah.
And then I realized that the shouts are really a coup de grace move. It's your enemy. When you have a bunch of enemies, it's that you've done damage. You've done done a lot of damage to most of them, and so it's Unrelenting Force, or I like the Fire Shout, Yol Torshul, and you blast them into oblivion.
I try my best to get them lined up somewhat, and then use it
for maximum effectiveness,
maximum damage and effect. Normally works pretty well, especially because my main with Axel. One thing I really haven't done is I haven't really touched the main storyline. I've mainly just been going around scavenging, going through caves, clearing them out. I gotta tell you, Fire Shout in a cave works so good.
You keep mentioning Axel, and he's primarily archery, yeah?
He's primarily archery. I mean, Jack was my first character, but as of late, I've spent with Jack. I kind of just I went through the steps. And I went through the steps and just complete the story.
Right.
With Axel, I'm doing everything. I'm taking my time to build up archery and build up other stats, and then to explore all over too.
It just reminded me of a character that I want to mention for a couple reasons. One, he's got an awesome name. Two, he's a coward, which is kind of fun to play in Skyrim, where everything can kill you.
Yeah. And
his name is Thorolf Ironskull.
Okay.
And he's not terribly bright, hence his name. He wears clothing, does not wear any armor, and he's archery. His only skill is archery. So he's a bit of a coward, and he's just a lot of fun. Oh yeah, sorry. Since he doesn't wear armor, sneaking is his armor. So if he's seen, that's a problem.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to mention him real quick. But Father dear, what would be your favorite shout?
It's actually changed a couple of times. It's kind of cycled through. One of the first ones that so I started out using Unrelenting Force, and then I discovered Slow Time.
Yeah.
And I love this. I love the Slow Time shout, especially with a Warhammer.
Yeah, sure.
And then I started using Ice Form.
Islanus.
Yeah, and
I know a lot of the shouts in the words,
and it's cool because it freezes them solid, and you can go,
kill them at your leisure.
Yeah, kill them at your leisure.
Yeah,
and,
that's really fun. That's like my second one.
I gotta say one of my favorite things you can get with archery is when you zoom and it slows everything down.
Yes, that's awesome.
That is so helpful.
It takes a lot of the hassle out of archery. Although the really difficult thing is once you've done archery with that, it's really hard to make a new character that does archery.
Yes.
Like I'm having so much trouble with Thorolf because of that. Rel, and Thorolf's I missed because I'm not used to it again.
Another thing pisses me off more than when you're in that zoom and you fire at someone and it's on target, and then move the last second, and it's like, are you kidding me?
To be fair, I think that for me, that might be karmic payback for all the time I do that to my opponent.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten to the point where I can go, and you're going to release now? Dodge.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That happens way too much. It's like, if they move last second, it's like...
Yeah, but, on the other hand, on the other side of that is, I'm always amazed that when you hit them with an arrow, when they don't move.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
Wait a second.
So... And when I mentioned the crossbow, crossbow is one.
No, I wasn't aware of a crossbow.
Dawnguard DLC.
Dawnguard DLC.
I have Dawnguard, but I haven't really.
If you join the Dawnguard, you get a free crossbow.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
So then you get a crossbow, but then there's a buddy that you get in the Dawnguard. She
is awesome.
She knows where you can get.
Oh yeah.
If you can get the plans, you can get a advanced crossbow, and then a dwarven crossbow, and then an advanced dwarven crossbow,
and then exploding bolts.
Right,
exploding bolts.
Yeah, and you can get them exploding sparks, exploding ice, and exploding fire.
Okay, that explains it because I haven't really touched the Dawnguard DLC, and so I was just
touch it so much. Touch it inappropriately.
Isrod is the leader of the Dawnguard. I just want to touch on this real quick. He sounds a little like Wesley Snipes as Blade.
Nice.
Which I think is kind of funny because he's the leader of a vampire hunter group.
Nice.
But the crossbow is a blast because, just like Conrad was saying, you can get the enhanced versions, the exploding crossbow bolts, and it fires more quickly than a bow.
Doesn't load as fast.
No, it doesn't.
It reloads really slowly.
It does.
That makes sense.
But, you get it enough power, and it'll stagger
You don't have to reload.
Well,
Yeah.
not only that, but it'll stagger them so you have time to reload.
Yeah.
And so, they're coming at you. You can fire a crossbow bolt, stagger them. While they're doing that, you can reload it. And
Also, the bash is the best thing ever with a crossbow. With
yeah.
a bow, you just kind of punch at them.
Yeah.
With the crossbow, you actually do a butt slam.
Oh, nice.
And it's...
Man, that makes me want to... I definitely missing out with Dawn Guard then.
It's
fun. It's good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I have the Skyrim Legendary Edition that comes with all 3 DLC already on it. And so, but I haven't really touched the DLC. Like, I'm working on the was it the Dragonborn DLC?
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of... That kind of just
Right.
thrown in there automatically, because when you start killing dragons. But
Hey, you there. We don't like you. Well, I don't care. Leave me alone.
Also, Matthew's interning today. Matthew mentioned that in Dawnguard, restoration magic becomes really badass.
does it?
Like, yeah, we likened it to restoration magic in vanilla Skyrim. I'm a priest, I heal things. Restoration magic when Dawnguard's installed. Break down the door, kill vampires. What are you? I'm a restoration priest. Because there are Vampire's Bane. It's basically fireball, but does massive amounts of damage, but specifically to undead.
Okay.
There's Sunfire, which is fire bolt, but sun damage against undead. There's Stendar's Aura, which is a ball of holy light around you that it will shred Draugr and vampires and anything remotely undead.
As an avid vampire lord, I will vouch for the sheer power of Stendar's Aura. Even at my greatest,
I gotta say,
I don't touch Stendar's Aura.
I gotta say, Draugr makes some great arrow fodder. Like, you need to sharpen up your skills. Just go into cave. Like,
They're
knock
so
out
slow.
Draugr.
It's so much fun. Now, if you've played the DLCs, which one did you like better? I mean, you really haven't touched Dawnguard much, Jake.
What's the one where you go into Morrow? You go back to Morrow?
That's Dragonborn.
That's Dragonborn. Is that Dragonborn?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Dragonborn.
Well, that's the only one. That's the only one I really touched. I guess Dragonborn right now is my favorite. But from the sound of it, Dawnguard will easily take its place.
And Dawnguard also added werewolf perk tree. I mean,
Nice.
Dawnguard. Me and Dawnguard. All the time.
So
'Cause
Conrad
Vampire
really
Lord.
likes Hearthfire.
Yeah.
Could you tell? Could you really tell, Jay? Me and Hearthfire, all the way. I freaking hate Hearthfire.
Hearthfire DLC
because-
was just, you got houses, right?
Well, yeah.
Or was there?
you got okay.
You
Part
can
of
make
the deal
houses,
was
and
that-
what you could do is you could upgrade it. You can pretty much have trophies for it,
And adopt a child.
And you can adopt a child.
gonna
But
adopt
what
up to 2
I
children? Oh, okay.
really do not like about Hearthfire is all the bullcrap material. I'm like rating chess piece. I'm like, what is this? Is this glass? Who gives a crap about window glass? I mean,
true.
what
You
the
don't-
hell?
you don't need that
There
to
could have
weigh
been
it down.
gold here.
Yeah.
But no,
it sells
there's
for a decent
glass.
amount, actually.
Huh?
It sells for a decent amount, actually.
And hay
I mean,
and dolls.
my dad
and
might not have
swords.
it, but-
Oh, so pissed.
But actually, Hearthfire is not my favorite. I like it because in Skyrim there were 3 places you could not originally build houses.
Yeah.
Falkreath, which is my favorite hold, of course. Hjalmarch, so Morthal, and the Pale, which, I think that's Dawnstar. And it allows you to buy land, and from the ground up, you get to build your own house.
I really wish you could have done something in River Run.
And it's not like
Riverwood?
Riverwood. River Run is Game of Thrones. I'm getting
and,
mixed
and
up.
what was really cool, I guess the
Game of
cool
Thrones is
thing
basically Skyrim on TV.
about Hearthfire is that when you're building your houses, it's not like here's the starting point and here's what you'll end with no matter what. It's okay, you've built the basic house, so there's east, north, and
Whatever.
east, west, and north wing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want for those? Do you want a library? Do you want a bedroom?
Yeah, you can actually make
Do you
like an
want a
enchanted
lab?
tower.
So you can get pretty in depth with the customization of it.
Well,
Yeah.
And then you can customize the inside too, like completely.
Brel, for example, has a forge outside his house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a forge. He's got a smelter. He's got a grindstone. He's got everything there.
Yeah.
He has a training room in his basement. He has a shrine of Talos. You can actually build a shrine to each of the divines for their blessings.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He has a trophy room for pelts and stuff.
Okay.
He has decorations of mud crabs that are mounted on the walls and bears and stuff. And something. This is just kind of all of Hearthfire is really just kind of a fun little thing, but
it's a place to warm yourself by the fire.
Hearthfire. But he has 2 children, and one of them brought home an animal from the wild.
An animal.
And said, "Hey, can I keep it? It followed me home." Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of cool. It was a mud crab. I said, "You know what? As long as it's not a frostbite spider, go ahead." And
I feel it's like one of the first enemies you encounter too, and I had no idea that giant spiders. I have pretty bad arachnophobia. Like I can't even watch it on movies.
Yeah,
but then the first thing I see is a giant spider. I'm like, oh, it's one of those games.
The first enemy you always encounter is a Stormcloak. You always encounter a Stormcloak because those things. Yes, those are the first enemy, the first creature that you run into.
Nice hair. You have not given us your favorite DLC.
It's
Dawnguard?
Dawnguard. Yeah.
Mine is also Dawnguard, mostly because Brell's been a werewolf since day one, and they were kind of underwhelming at first, and then I got the perk tree.
From what I hear,
I can one-shot giants now.
From what I hear from friends who really played in-depth Skyrim, Dawnguard seems to be the all-out favorite of the DLC.
The main reason I don't like Dragonborn as much is because Solstheim, while it's a nice place, is just so visually boring.
Is it?
It's all ash and it's all gray.
Solstheim is beautiful. I love Solstheim.
But you like Dunmer too.
Oh, we got the Nord and the Dunmer sitting next to each other. That's going to be a good idea. Jake, why did you let me do that?
Bring it on, barbarian.
Make it interesting. Next question, Josh, before they kill each other.
No ash off my back.
Favorite racial ability? Well, for example, I mostly play Nords in the game.
Do you even need to ask this?
But my favorite racial ability is not a Nordic ability. I have actually 2. At first, I was going to say the Bretons because they have their 50% magic resistance, which is really cool. But I'm going to scrap that in favor of the Khajiit because they have a claw bonus to unarmed damage, which is really cool. And the Orcs Berserker Rage. You activate it, your vision goes red, and you take half damage, and you deal double for 60 seconds.
Okay.
So helpful.
So I've never really paid attention to the racial perks that you get depending on what you are, but Orc sounds the best so far.
Nords have the Battle Cry, which is basically a shout that makes all your enemies flee temporarily.
And then
the Imperials have... Oh, and Nords also have 50% frost resistance. Imperials have Imperial Luck, which allows them to find more gold places.
Okay.
And Voice of the Emperor, which calms all nearby enemies for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Which is really handy. Khajiit have Night Eye on their claws. Argonians, they can breathe underwater. And they have His Skin, which multiplies their health regeneration by 10 for 60 seconds.
So Argonians, they don't have to come up for air?
No, at all. Ever. Weird thing is, though, if you do come up for air after a while, they'll still do the...
Yeah.
I'm just like, you can breathe underwater. Why are you doing that?
They have 2 separate lungs.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they need to refill their air lungs.
Okay.
Because they emptied their air lungs.
But
your dog's looking at me.
The Argonians also have 50% disease resistance, which is nice in Dawnguard if you don't want to become a vampire.
Oh, okay, so I have a quick story about the whole vampire thing because I got the vampire blood disease.
Oh yeah, sanguinare vampiris.
No, I had no idea how to cure it. And I was like, and so I had to go online and check out what it was.
Cure disease potion?
No, cure disease doesn't.
It does when it's still in sanguinare vampiris.
Yeah, it's after it progresses after a certain
Okay, see,
time.
mine had progressed to a certain point where I don't think it would
then
work.
you had to go visit the
dude.
Oh, yeah, so you
and
were
I had
a
to
full-on vampire.
And I had to get the soul. Yeah, because I took my guy wears a mask, and I took the guy's mask off, and get forward and everything. I was like, that looks kind of badass, but I don't want to be a vampire because I want to be able to run during the day. And so I had to do the whole soul gem thing, which was a pain in the butt. But
you realize you could have bought a soul gem from him, right? The wizard that cures you sells black soul gems.
A filled one?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know
But
that.
where's the fun in that?
Yeah, seriously.
If you don't want to have to, like Jake just said, it was a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, because I was looking
yeah,
up.
the process is a
It's
pain
like
in the
you
butt,
got to
but-
kill like a human or something, and I was like, I killed a dragon and it worked. So
Anyway, but yeah, so
And then the beautiful, beautiful Ancestral's Wrath of the Dunmer, in which you get this flaming aura around you that
it's basically a flame
slaughters.
cloak at really low levels, which is really nice. The Red Guards have Adrenaline Rush, which increases their stamina regen by 100%.
the one mission I can never complete is the Red Guard woman.
Oh,
Really?
I have no idea where she is.
So
Spoilers.
dude,
Spoilers,
you
guys.
you should probably go get a drink
at the Bannered Mare.
at the Bannered Mare. You should probably go get a drink
Okay,
at the
because
Bannered
like
Mare.
I said, I don't go into a lot of like the pubs or anything.
What I liked about that quest is you actually had I went around Whiterun asking every Red Guard, checking the dialogue with every Red Guard woman. Like Adriana Avenici at War Maidens, I checked hers. Sadius at the Bannered Mare, checked her. And even Nazim's wife.
Man, I feel foolish.
But I actually worked for it. But
like I said, I looked around Whiterun for a little bit and then just gave up.
But as for the racial abilities, Conrad's is obviously Ancestor's Wrath. Berserk for mine is just so handy.
I'll just go berserk.
I haven't used them, so
Do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we've kind of already answered this, but what's your favorite character you've created so far?
Definitely Axel Wolfthorn.
Probably Sven Forkbeard.
Conrad?
This is where things get tough, because, I mean, I do have my devotion
Dumb it down.
to the Dunmer, but some of the most well-rounded characters I've made have been a Wood Elf, a Nord,
Your Red Guard was really cool.
but it wasn't really rounded.
I don't know. I think he was.
He could have, but the characters I actually played with,
Yeah.
and so I've had a Wood Elf, a Nord, a High Elf, and a couple Dunmer. I'm gonna have to say my Wood Elf. He was so well rounded. I mean, I do have Yuldreth that I'm working on right now, my Dunmer, and he may replace.
Yeah, because you're actually working on the story with this one.
Yeah, and this one really has a story to him. But right now, my Wood Elf, it was Halkagen. Halkagen, my Wood Elf, who one-shot a Elder Dragon.
Yeah. What?
I one-shot an Elder Dragon, so what happened, I was...
Not yet, I actually have a question about some of
Alright.
these. So, but just for the character thing, I have to pick a small handful. I'm going to keep it nice and short. Of all time, Brelstorm Shout. Thorolf Ironskull. I love the story behind him. It's fun to play a different type
I like
of
how
character.
you just gave him a backstory on top of the story that he has.
Brel or Thorolf?
Because they are the
Iron
stories
Skull.
that...
Yes.
There are the stories that we give them,
Yeah.
and they're the way they play is
Same here.
Yeah. Jake and my dad play the game to play the game. Conrad and I play the game to create a character.
because we've played the game through so many times
That's
that
true.
we need something more.
But favorite characters, Thorolf Ironskull, just because he's fun. Brel, Kael'ta the Pirate. I did. And
Our Navy.
Isn't that Argonian, isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And Telemane Tafus, he's an absent-minded conjurer, and he's a lot of fun. And Kryn, for personality reasons.
So, like seriously, like my guy, his story, he's Dragonborn.
Yeah.
That's about it.
A lot of mine could be related.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of Conrads.
Just a whole bunch of Dunmer.
Now, this one's really only going to be for me and Conrad, because this question is it starts with, if you've played any previous Elder Scrolls games,
Okay.
what's your favorite?
All
The Elder Scrolls games.
Before we answer this, we're kind of running long, and we still got probably a good chunk amount of questions that we may not even get to fully. So when you answer, just give the name of the game and then just like a quick 30 seconds of why you like it.
Dude, Oblivion. I loved Oblivion, and I loved all the side quests. They were deep and
They
just
were.
beautiful.
Honestly, Skyrim, my favorite of the Elder Scrolls so far. Enough said.
No,
Me too.
is there a? I know Elder Scrolls Online is coming. Is there another Elder Scrolls console game in the works?
We don't know yet.
Elder Scrolls Online.
No. Well, Elder Scrolls Online is going to be a console game, as well as a computer.
Oh, it is coming to console.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's going to be ridiculously expensive for console.
Probably.
Well, because you have to buy the game, you have to get Xbox Live, you have to get the subscription to the game for online. So if I did it, I'd just go computer.
Probably.
But
I'm gonna go console.
as of yet, we don't know. There probably is.
I'm
because
sure there is.
They started naming them after the provinces. We've still got a couple more to go.
Okay.
Then next question. This is just going to be a one word. We're not going to get very deep into this one, Conrad.
Oh my god, just ask it.
Stormcloak or Imperial? Jake?
Imperial.
Imperial.
Stormcloak.
I got to go with my original. Imperial. I started Stormcloak, but whatever. Any Daedric quests?
Not that I know of.
You don't know if you've done any?
I don't think. Yeah.
I've done a couple of them.
Yeah. You're such a paladin.
Yeah, I know it.
I enjoy Azura's Star.
Azura's Star.
Okay, then I have, because I've done a
Yeah.
Zero Star.
But,
If you do any of them for a Daedric prince, that's a Daedric quest.
Oh,
But I
okay.
mean, for like the joy of doing the quest, it's that one in Dawnstar with the whole sleeper
Yes.
Because that's an entertaining quest.
It is. It's a really cool quest. You can see a lot about the world. Gotta say, I've done a couple. Anyone who knows me in terms of how much I like the Elder Scrolls stuff knows that I absolutely adore Hircine, Daedric Lord of the Hunt.
Or Merida. That's another fun quest.
Oh yeah, and that appeals
Because
to my
it's
dad's
a
paladiness.
It's a cool dungeon.
Meridia's
Merida's Beacon.
Meridia.
Meridia.
Yeah.
Meridia's Beacon. And there's that one moment where you're up in the sky and then she just drops you. And you're like, okay!
Yeah, you put the beacon back, okay, I did what I was told. And she calls you up like 100 feet into the air.
You look
and you're
down.
standing.
A lot more than that.
Yeah.
And you
I
look,
just,
you,
okay, I've done this quest because I remember this
yeah,
part.
you look down and and then she's done talking to you. Whoom, she drops you. And I was terrified that game over. But I gotta say I liked Marin's Dagon's quest. I have mixed feelings about Mephal's quest. I'll probably do an independent video on that. Hircine's for a long time was my absolute favorite, but it recently got replaced. And I'm sure, James Hall, if you're listening to this, you go, but Malakath's Daedric quest is amazing. It's not it's not a fantastic story or anything, it's just, it really feels like a trial by fire of a god.
That's one of the ones that I want to take one of my.
And you get the coolest looking Warhammer in the world out of it.
Or there's the easiest.
I see why now.
That's what
And because it comes with an absorb 50 stamina enchantment on it, you can power attack and it'll absorb exactly the amount it spends to power attack. So you can permanently power attack with it.
Oh, nice.
Or there's the easiest Daedric quest, and like if you really want a soul trap, there's Molag Bal.
Yeah.
That's just in, out, grab a guy,
Molag
bring him
Bal
back.
is Molag. For those of you who don't know, Molag Bal is the Daedric prince of domination. I think it's violence and submission. Apparently, a priest of Boethia defiled his shrine. You bring the priest back to him. He puts him in a cage, gives you a rusty mace, says, "Get to work." You beat the priest to death, and then Molag Bal says, "You know what? I'm not done with him," and brings him back to life. And you do it again. And I think you do this. I think you do it 3 times.
That's just brutal.
And look, this is also the guy who created vampires.
Oh, okay.
You're right. I'm a paladin when it comes to that stuff. I can't.
Well, Boethius is one of the hardest
One
to
day,
do mentally.
I'm gonna like guide you through a playthrough. I'm like, no, that is a good thing to do. Do the other.
You just have like a spray ball on the side. Like, no good things.
no good things.
No, but
You're supposed to kill him.
one of the hardest ones to do is Boethius. Not because it's particularly difficult, but Dad didn't do it. But because she says, "Okay, bring me someone." Okay, so you bring a follower.
Bring a follower. Yeah.
Kill them.
Oh, I remember this quest. Yeah.
I cheated. I went out and hired a mercenary specifically for this quest, and then I grabbed my gold off him.
I ended up killing all of Boethius' followers.
Oh, now you done pissed me
I
off.
don't.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
When it comes to followers, I actually choose not to have a companion with me. I go a lot of it solo, mainly because I tried a companion once, but I don't take the traditional route to places. I like to climb mountains and jump off, and like the places they can't follow. And so I look back, they're not following me. I'm like, all right, they're done. And so I'm like, there's just really no point in having them follow me anymore.
Dad uses them as a walking suitcase.
Yeah, they're a mule.
Yeah, because they don't have a.
Yeah, they do actually.
Oh,
it's
they
just
do?
very high.
And it's tied to yours.
Oh, okay.
As far as their max carry weight, but yeah, basically mine are mules.
Okay.
Poor Lydia.
But
Lydia, give me my warhammer.
Basically,
no,
yeah.
she carries the
And
the
her
woodworth axe
response.
and the pickaxe.
Mm-hmm.
Her response. I am sworn to carry your burdens.
She's so sorry.
Serana.
Yeah, Serana actually says, "You're not just giving me all the stuff that you can't be bothered with, are you?" Yes, I am.
Sure.
No, like I never thought of them as like that. But like then again, I still probably won't have a follower or companion just for the pure fact that I'll lose them and all the stuff they're carrying.
If you wait for 1 hour, they'll
wait.
follow you. They'll find you.
Oh, will they really?
Oh yeah, you go through a doorway.
Uh-huh.
They're behind you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Thorolf, he feels the need to have one. He's a coward. Brel, he lone wolfs it.
Axel's more of a lone wolf. Hence Axel Wolfhorn.
Yeah. Well, Brel
Is
is a werewolf, and he's been a werewolf since like level 3.
I gotta say,
I'm sure that if Conrad has followers, they're simply snacks.
yeah.
Oh yes.
I gotta say,
what's her name? The Unbroken. I'll
Uthgard.
Uthgard the Unbroken. I'll brawl with her. I'll take her up to Bleak Falls Barrow. I'll let her help me kill that last Draugr. But then I might have accidentally discharged a fireball school when she was fighting that one Draugr. So I might as well take her armor now.
Yeah, I think it's really funny. My dad and Conrad are sitting right next to each other. We have my dad, the lawful good paladin, and Conrad, the neutral
Chaotic evil.
Not chaotic.
I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I'm exactly like you when it comes to these kind of games where you can kind of sway what kind of person your guy is. My morals in real life transform into the game. I can never be a Sith. I can never be a bad guy. I can't be a renegade in Mass Effect.
You know what? I tried to when I was in college playing D&D.
Mm-hmm.
I learned this about myself.
Yeah.
Because I tried to play a character that was chaotic evil, and I couldn't do it because I don't think that way.
I don't. Me either.
You should see me play Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Like with
Oh god!
Well, Fallout 3 is
I
a lot
will
darker
go
of a
into a
game.
town. I will slaughter everyone. I will gore their bodies, and then I will blow up the city.
I like with Knights of the Old Republic. I tried to be a Sith. I'm like, I can't do this. I want to be light. I want to be good.
See, it's funny. Brel just kind of has no particular. His morality is different because I don't know. I feel like he sees everything more like an animal does.
Mm-hmm.
So he really doesn't have a good evil complex.
Yeah.
So he just does whatever he does. Next question though. Favorite moment in Skyrim thus far? Although something we can preface it with is just a simple one-word answer. Favorite crafting skill?
Archery or crafting?
Yeah.
Smithing.
Yeah, Dad, you're fighting between two, aren't you?
I am.
Now
Or not
that when you say
enchanting.
crafting skill, it's like
Alchemy, enchanting, or smithing?
smithing. That's the only thing I really do.
For me, it's gotta be smithing.
Enchanting.
It's
I enjoy a good enchantment.
Nope,
cooking.
It's split.
It's split between smithing and alchemy.
Alchemy's a lot of fun because you get to make. I do have one character who's a complete alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
He carries one weapon of each type,
Yeah.
and I just mean one-handed and a two-handed.
Yeah.
And he has like 6 potions of fortify one-handed or fortify two-handed. Boom, drink one, destroy everything with it. Even though he's one-handed, is only like 20.
I do want to go on a quick side tangent real quick because I think everyone's been kind of talking about, like, kind of giving a quick side story about why they named their character the way they did. Wolfthorn,
Just kind of popped in your head.
after my deodorant. Old Spice makes my hands down my favorite smelling deodorant, and it's called Wolfthorn.
Okay.
And I was reading it, I was like, man, that's such an awesome name.
Look
And then
at that
I was
now
making,
back to me.
I was playing.
Draugr. Now back to me.
Yeah.
I am not your Draugr. I will not attack you like a Draugr. Buy my deodorant.
But
that old spice.
but yeah, I was just making my new character. I'm like, Axel's a cool name. I'm like, Wolfthorn's a good last name. I was like,
but it works.
It works. It totally works. But I just thought it was kind of funny that the inspiration was my deodorant.
Right.
Okay, favorite moment.
Favorite moment.
Man. So I one-shot a legendary dragon.
Oh, so this is personal moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you talked about story-wise.
In Skyrim.
Okay.
No.
All right, so what I did, I one-shot a legendary dragon.
Uh-huh.
My sneak was super high. I had got the sneak archery perk. So I was sneaking up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I had my legendary dwarven mega enchanted advanced crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
I put like a heavy poison on it. I drank a potion of sneak and a potion of true shot. Pulled back, fired, held my breath, and the dragon went down. I'm like, that was so awesome.
I gotta say, my favorite one is I was clearing out a fort, and it was just bandits in there. I was clearing them out with my bow, just kind of picking them all off, and I get to the top of the fort, and I pick the one last guy off, but then I kind of see some movement in the background. There's a bandit hauling ass out of the fort, and I'm just like, is he out of my reach? I'm like, you never know. Just pull it back. I got the slow-mo going. I lead him out. I just let go. Kill cam instantly.
Oh.
Like, no way! And like this, like I said, this guy's deep.
Right.
And all of it, just kill cam, just follow the arrow. Good, like 3-4 seconds on just the kill cam and the arrow. Guy's running, hits him square in the back of the head,
and deep down, you hear the audience cheering.
I was like, oh, that's on some Legolas level right there. Oh my god! I was like,
Sean Connery.
I was like, I should
whispering in your ear how to lead the shot.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I know that. I was just like, I should just quit playing Skyrim because I'll never peak after this.
My favorite time was probably when I took out a Draugr with an arrow to the knee.
Yeah, I used to be a Draugr like you.
And it's no joke.
Like that happens with me all the time with the being an archer. I take because you hit random areas in the body and I'll still drop them. I walked up. Sometimes I like to admire my kill. I walk up, guy's got an arrow in the knee. I'm like,
I used to be a town guard like you, but then I took that arrow out of my knee.
I gotta say, either there was like a glitch that happened with Brell's first backstab, and I did, and it pulled a decapitation. So I did the full, like, slit the throat, but the head rolled off.
Nice.
I'm just like, and it's kind of funny because Brell's always been this brute in my mind. I'm like, that just fits. But I gotta say, the best one was after I got one for it was a perk for one-handed, standing power attacks, do bonus damage, and have a chance to decapitate your enemies. I just killed a whole bunch of them. One of the bandits was saying, "No, I yield," and part of it's just a huge story thing. I walk up to him, power attack with both of them, and he kneels, decapitation with 2 war axes.
Nice. That's the only thing where my morals won't come in is if someone says they yield, they're going down.
Oh, yeah. I was so disappointed when I first got the game. I'm like, oh, cool, he's yielding. I have a chance to... Nope, he got back up. Really? You're coming at me?
Also, there's that point with archery at least, or like, and when you're hitting someone, they get like you get them to the point where they're almost dead and they fall to one knee.
Yeah.
What do I do every time?
Execution shot.
I go up right behind them. I pull it back, but then I got to do like the Boondock. I do the Boondock Saints prayer, and I'm just like,
feet may swiftly carry us like a man.
Boof.
And you shall flow forth the river to thee, and swimming with souls shall it ever be. And nobody patria fili, spiritus sancti.
Yep. I just let him have it. But no, that's like it's just like the dorkiest thing I could do in Skyrim. Probably is that.
It's just the most vengeful archery thing you can do.
But it's still nothing. Like there's times when I'm playing, I'm like, nah, nothing's gonna beat that shot.
Yeah.
Nothing is gonna beat that shot.
Until you do that to a dragon.
I don't even know if one shot in a dragon for me. Like it was just the fact that I was just like, I don't know.
What the hell?
Well, because like it kind of equates to I like to go shooting in real life.
Right.
I'm a pretty good marksman with my gun and stuff, and nothing really compares to when you just like that. Like you line up that shot perfectly. You actually take your time. You take kind of the count into the wind and everything.
Sean Connery.
And then you just shoot and you get like that just perfect bullseye shot. It was just pretty much like that. Like I took the time. Like even though I knew I felt like the guy was out of my range. I took the time to at least line it up, set it up, and just like if I'm gonna do this, do it right. And like sure enough, it just paid off.
Conrad suggested that we should save the rest of these questions for a later Skyrim one.
I say we do at least one more.
Okay.
Do one more, and then we can do like what we did with Pottercasts.
That's true.
All right. Let's go with... What is your favorite of the Daedric artifacts, regardless of the quests?
Could we possibly do another one? Because
No.
I'm not into the Daedric stuff
Okay.
really.
Let's see.
So far.
What was your favorite quest line?
Questline. Ooh.
Oh man, Dark
Not
Brotherhood.
that you would know, Father.
Dak Brotherhood. I love that quest
Since
line
I played the Dark
because-
Brotherhood one in Oblivion, I can't enjoy this one
Is
that
that,
much.
is that where you...
Spoiler alert.
The game's 3 years old.
No, I was going to say, is that where you kill all the assassins?
No.
Oh.
No, that is the one where you go and kill the Emperor.
Oh,
He's
I'm sorry, it's the wrong
making
one.
the joke because he destroyed the Dark Brotherhood.
I know you did that. No, I'm so sure the Dark
I love how
Brotherhood
there's disappointed
quest line-
Conrad sounds. I know you did.
I know the side quests for the Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion were much more superior to that of the ones in Skyrim, but the sheer magnitude of killing the Emperor.
And the Dark Brotherhood at 3 Dog. The voice actor for Fallout 3? Yeah, 3 Dog. He's in the Dark Brotherhood.
I just want to say, now that we're talking about voice actors, it's probably not the guy, but it just reminded me. The dude from the Riverwood Trader. There's a guy at my
Lucan
work.
Valerius.
I don't know if it's the same guy, but I have a guy a regular at my work who comes. He gets bacon every week. Sounds so much like him, and I'm just like, I heard him talk the first time. I'm like, where the hell have I heard that? Where the hell have I heard that voice before? He kept talking. He walks away. I'm like, was that the Riverwood Trader? And every time he comes up to me, I'm like, hey,
Skyrim.
I'm like,
the Golden Claw.
I'm like, I know it's probably not the guy, but it sounds so much like him. I'm just like, I just want to listen to you talk, dude.
But your favorite quest line?
Imperial, when you're part of the Imperial Army,
The Civil War.
the Civil War, and you're taking down the Stormcloaks. I just like it because it's where I really sharpened up a lot of my
Combat skills.
combat and archery skills. Because you'd storm a fort or you storm something, and I would just really sit back and I'd pick off people left and right. And I just like the whole. It just kind of runs into the whole medieval thing where you got to defend the castle, you got to defend your people and your land. It makes you feel chivalrous when you're playing it. I just loved it.
Maybe this was too deep of a question to be the last one.
No, I think it's a good one to end on.
Okay. Father, what's your favorite quest line?
Jeez, I don't know.
Have you completed any of them?
I don't follow any of them.
I don't really. I only followed the Civil War one because it kind of ties into the main quest.
I think I actually completed the main quest line once. But yeah, but I mean, I don't. I wander around and I go where I want to go, and okay, this is a quest. All right, I'll do that one, and I'll do this much of it, unless it pisses me off, like Boethia or that kind of stuff. So I'll just kind of wander around and do my own thing. I usually complete the one about Galdur's
amulet.
Yeah,
I do have
amulet.
one more question after
right.
you guys are done explaining yours.
My favorite quest line it's a rather short quest line, but it's my favorite one. It's not tied to a guild. It's called No One Escapes Sidna Mine. It's in Markarth, which is really kind of ironic because I hate that city. But you, in order to start the quest, you go see some dude at the Shrine of Talos and you get arrested. The quest itself is a jailbreak.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
And I really liked that quest.
You see, me and Sidna Mine, it's
Your best friends!
No.
Oh.
I do. I take that quest when, I want to increase my perks in my vampire tree. Or I want to increase my perks in my werewolf tree. Let's go to Sidna Mine.
You're in jail. You got a whole bunch of victims there, right?
Exactly.
It's the oh, I'm not locked in here with you. You're all locked in here with me.
You got being in jail was bad.
So I guess this can be the question that rounds it up.
Okay.
What's your favorite style of play? Like, for example, are you more of like a linear storyline where you want to you go through the? I know your my story or type of play is exactly the same. Where I like to explore. I'm not I'll start one storyline and like I'll do that mission and then I just go off and I'll start another one. I have like if you look at my mission tree. It's a bunch of unfinished crap and stuff, and like I have a ton of missions I gotta work on. But I'm a total explorer and scavenger, and I love just exploring stuff and clearing out caves. And like I know some people love to do storyline after storyline. Like they'll get done with one storyline and they'll start another one. It's like, well, I gotta finish this one.
Clearing out mages.
Yeah,
I really do.
that didn't feel like it was pointed at Conrad.
No, that wasn't actually.
I know.
I think of Fort Almo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's that's why I always go there because I like taking out the mages.
Like, and that's just how I am when it comes to open world kind of sandbox games. Is I'm never one to really
Stick hard to something.
Like I'll eventually. It's a long deal.
You'll do it all,
but I'll eventually get to it. But I love like there's just too much to do, especially in Skyrim, where you can just like try to focus on one thing and keep going on that. It's like I almost have ADD. It's like ooh, this mission, ooh, another mission. And I just that's just totally my style of play.
Closest I come is with one of my characters. I just decided to try and get all of the dragon masks.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my own.
Conrad, what about your style of play?
And so what I'll do is I'll make a character and then I'll create a story for that. Like Youthdrell right now. He was from Solstheim. He got banished from Solstheim. And so now, naturally, he's going to go back to Solstheim. He's going to do the Dragonborn DLC. He's going to do this guild and this guild. And afterwards, if I've had enough fun and he's finished his kind of own personal story, then I'll go and do other stuff. I'll go collect the Dragon Mask. I'll go do the main story. I'll finish the main story and stuff like that. I
guess just real quick back to myself. I guess the best way to describe mine is like I treat it like I'm a complete stranger to the land, and I just want to explore everything.
As for me, it's kind of a weird mix of a bunch of styles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just something that goes through all my characters. I will do, like, I'll do one quest, and if it's done right, I'll think, oh, this is pretty urgent. I need to finish this. Like, obviously, I know that I can put it on hold forever, but if it's done right, I'll feel like, oh, I need to do this quickly. And then this happens in Fallout as well. I'll do that, and then I'll keep going, and without ever realizing it, I've stopped doing that quest, and I'm on a side quest.
Yep.
I'm just, what, you sneaky little bastard. But
Skyrim's really good at that.
Yeah.
About really just throwing just random side quests at you
your quest list is never empty.
Yeah, it's true.
For example, I guess the best way to describe mine would be massive exploration broken up by quests.
Okay.
That I do, I like to finish quests to their completion, but Thorolf, he does quests, but as little as possible, and he'll, in between the two, like, I'll be walking from one place to the other and go, oh, what's in there? And go and explore and usually run away. Level 5 running into trolls is not a good idea.
What I typically do is I go, like, when I load up the game again, what I'll do is I'll go to, like, I'll fast travel to a cave I haven't been to in a while, and then I'll make a marker, like, halfway across the map,
and walk.
And just walk. And whenever I see like a cave or a fort pop up on my navigation bar, I'm like, time to go explore that.
Yep. But yeah, so that was a great question. It's kind of fun to see the different styles of play. I think it's hilarious that Jake and my dad have the exact same paladin type morals and play the exact same way. I find that entertaining.
I think this is. Well, I think it's part of the entertainment value of Skyrim is the fact that there's so many different ways you can play this game and you can go about to playing it and stuff. There's a lot of games out there, kind of like where they're RPGs, but you can really there's only a few different ways you can go at it, and they all kind of end this into the same way. With this, it's really like you literally have whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you can say, I'm going to make a mage. Okay. There are like 6 different kinds of mage. Billions of different kinds of mages you can make. and even just in that one fairly limiting
Well,
archetype.
yeah, and like I can go at this like, oh, I'm going to be a warrior, but I'm going to be mainly an archery warrior.
Right. Matthew and I like to say that there's 3 main styles of warrior. Well, not of melee fighting, I guess. And that's two-handed, dual wield, and sword and board, which is sword and shield, or mace and shield, or whatever. But
never quite as blocking though.
I'm definitely a sword and
there are
board.
some awesome shield kill cams, though.
There are.
There's really only one.
I just don't use shields.
Bash, slice.
That's one. It's a common one. It also has that from first person. I did one where I bashed someone like in the face. I continually bashed them in the face till they died. But
My favorite thing to do is when you're fighting a bear and you have a shield. And he
Run
just,
away?
No, he just bashes down on like right on the back of the bear's neck.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 times with the shield. It's such a brutal kill.
But yeah, so obviously we all love Skyrim a lot.
Definitely. It's for me it has the replay value of like Red Dead, where you're never really done with it, and there's like you go on sprees where you'll play it for like
Really? Do you have Red Dead?
Not anymore. But I always go back and end up buying it. But you can play it for like 3 weeks at a time and just binge on it.
I think I've been working on Skyrim for like a month and a half now.
Yeah, not play it for like a long time, and then you come back to it. And it's just one of those things where you just pick it up and it's straight back into your old grinding.
Yep.
But yeah,
but in a good way.
Probably up there with one of my favorite games of all times, purely for the replay value.
Yeah.
And the
replay value is massive,
and the entertainment of it. So I think that's going to be it for now.
Yep.
I think we have a next episode, and that's going to be Supernatural, right?
Yep. We're planning on doing a Supernatural podcast next.
I'm going to try to find it somewhere and catch up on the most current season, which is season 9.
Yeah.
And then that way I'm more up to date on it. And if that doesn't happen, then we'll probably just go up to season 8.
I'll try to watch it, but Skyrim.
Pretty much.
Skyrim.
And thanks again to Conrad for coming down again.
Very big thanks.
And thanks to my dad, because tiny little tangent before we go, we decided, let's do a Skyrim podcast, and I thought, my dad absolutely adores Skyrim. We need to have him on this. I texted Jake that, and he goes, yes.
And
yes.
It's one of the things we have been talking about is that we figured we'd have you on at one point, and we just had to wait for that perfect podcast, and it happened to be Skyrim, which is an amazing topic to have you on.
Yeah, so I think this is one of our longest running.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely up there. But yeah, thank you both.
It was great. I had fun.
It was definitely great. It was definitely a pleasure having you on. You guys,
especially harassing him.
Yep. It was that went better than I thought it would.
You're Satan to.
But I think it's time to shut down and go kill some Thalmor.
Oh yeah, let's do this.
All right.
Peace out.
Bye.